into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
That feels good, don't it?
Boy, are we so excited. Hey, what's up, everybody? You are tuned into AFTERBUZZ TV for Starz Power. I am your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce my panel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia.
I am Ayers.
And I'm Janeisha John.
Okay, I need to stand up on my feet because when I give the introduction, she really needs a full standing ovation. So please welcome to AFTERBUZZ. She plays the character of Holly. Please welcome Lucy Waters.
Thunderous applause. Thunderous.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Welcome. So glad to have you here.
Oh my God, I'm so psyched to be here.
Have I waited for this day? I can't hear myself, so if you can just turn me up just a little bit because I can't hear myself. But okay, thank you for coming. We are just excited that you're here, and so let's just get right into it. Do you guys think Tommy has a right to be paranoid for what's going on after what Holly? I mean, yes, but I still have to pose the question. What do you guys think about Tommy is kind of on one?
He's always on one.
Yeah.
But I think he has every right to be a little paranoid right now.
Well, yeah, and especially if you consider how he first heard it. He first heard it from the whole business with Angela, right? And now he's getting it straight from Holly. I mean, he's got plenty of reason to be paranoid. But let's just also keep it real. Tommy be like sniffing. So don't that already make you paranoid?
Yeah.
Like real hardcore, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, of course he does.
And then I wonder, do you think Ghost knows that Tommy is a sniffer?
I wondered the same thing.
I think he does, because I would feel like if he knows his mom sniffs and he brought his mom the stuff the time when he came by the house, I would assume that he thinks that the son is too. He's exposed to it, maybe.
Because it's never been brought up in discussion.
I don't think he knows that he does it as much as he does. Because Tommy was high the whole episode. He was high the whole episode. Like, I don't think Ghost knows that bad. He probably thinks he does it when he has girls over, but the way Tommy was sniffing, I don't think Ghost knows that.
His behavior too, though. I think the signs are there, and I think Ghost being in the business so long, he should definitely know that he's using as much as he does. Ooh.
And then, what do you think about? Do you think that was a smart move for Tommy to move the money from the wash and fold?
I do.
You do?
I do. I think it was a little reckless, but I also think that it proves that they are being watched to that extent. And I think it was smart that he had the clothing, the dirty clothes.
How he did it was smart.
How he did it was extremely smart. Yeah. I think it was reckless that he didn't talk to Ghost about it first.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think it should have been moved eventually. But I think, like you guys said, he should have talked to Ghost about it and at least told him what the plan was. But the fact that it took so long for Ghost to even find out that the truck got pulled over with the laundry in it, something like that, you need to tell him immediately.
I agree.
So
I agree.
The whole time, it was just a little behind on everything.
But then at the same time, the reason why I have to maybe disagree, but I agree, but then I disagree, kind of, because Ghost said later, he was like, it's legit.
Yeah, it's a laundry machine. It's nothing but cash.
Right. We've got papers on it. We're good. So to me, it's sort of like, well, then why are you being so nervous about it? I mean, I get it. Y'all doing like dirty money and you're washing it and stuff like that. But if you look at the business in and of itself, and if they were to come and find all that money there, it just makes sense.
Maybe he just wanted to see a little more about what happened with Holly and Angela, the conversation that they have. So maybe he's really trying to see if they were, looking at them and paying attention to them and following them. So that was kind of his way to just, to test it out, to see if the police were on them like that. So I think his theory kind of was proven.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lucy?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny watching this show now as a fan. It's very different than reading it, through Holly's eyes. But yeah, it just seems so indicative of how fractured that relationship is becoming, that they used to be such a team and always on the same page and always sort of like just locked in step, and now you just see them. Yeah, I mean, obviously the way it unfolds, it feels super reckless because you just do not trust him. He does not seem to be logical. He's just pure emotion, and that's a scary place to be. But then, you know, you see that he's still seemingly in charge. I mean, he seemed to pull it off. But I think more than anything, what just troubles me is how fractured that relationship seems to be.
But
I agree.
Is it fractured? Because I am very intrigued how they handle each other's business decisions. It's never a big fight when one decides to make a decision. So I think they trust each other enough to know that although you didn't tell me, I trust that the decision that you made is for the sake of us and our business and our brand.
There is, but I feel like even that trust is starting to erode a little bit.
And,
you know,
and I agree with you.
And I think that is part of that is the paranoia, which is certainly heightened by the drugs and certainly like who knows what. But you see it unraveling. You know, I mean, that scene with those two in the street, like. People on the real pedestrians were like real cops were worried those two were going at it. So, you know, when Tommy's like hitting the sign there, when he's like, you know, it's like, that's a scary scene. That's not like those two. They were
right.
That was intense and in public.
Yeah, and then I further agree with you because of remember the one of the first scenes in the beginning when Tommy got out of his situation, which hilarious, by the way. I was wondering, I was like, how's he gonna work this out? How he gonna get out of this one? He's got hammers everywhere. He tossed that place up trying to get out of there. But anyway, when Ghost came and Tommy saw through the peephole that it was Ghost, he was like, damn, like he's mad that he's even here. And when Ghost came inside, he didn't even tell him. I was shocked. I was like, you're not gonna let your boy know? Like, no, the block is hot and she's got the drop on us. I was shocked at that. So that is sort of like an indication that maybe that they are falling apart. For me.
But Ghost is banging
Angela, there you go.
So he's unsure. He has to figure out how he's going to tell him because he's not sure how he's going to react, but not knowing that Ghost has his agenda, Tommy has his agenda. They just haven't talked about it. They haven't spoke about it yet. So I could see why he waited.
Or maybe he waited. What I got from it, the way Tommy was calling Holly and he kept calling her, maybe he didn't tell Ghost because he's secretly hoping that Holly isn't that person she showed him before she handcuffed him to the bed. Because he was calling her and it looked like he was like, please Holly, don't let this really be who you are. Like trying to like plead with her or trying to at least get her to come back on his side. So that's what I got from it. That's what I think he did. That's what I was like, oh, maybe that's why he's not telling Ghost, because the minute he tells Ghost and that changes.
It's like, I told you so.
Yeah, and then he'll have to own up to the relationship that he now has with Holly.
It's interesting that you got that from that phone call from him calling Holly like that, because to me I was like, is he that enraged that he's like, if you don't answer your answer your phone, you know what I'm saying? Like that's sort of what I got from it. You know, when you get into it with somebody and you want to go even further in, that's my take on it. But you could be right.
I like both. I'm 50-50.
You're on the fence.
I like 50. Okay, now on the fence, what do you guys think about Tasha and the whole divorce? Do you think that she should walk away?
No.
With the potential?
No.
Okay.
And do what? Like, what is Tasha gonna do? Get a job?
Be with Sean?
She's gonna be like, she's gonna
take care of
an admin now at some company.
She's gonna go work at Denny's. Yo, Denny's from last week.
She's gonna be at Denny's. Like, what is she gonna do?
But the funny thing
in those heels.
With those clothes, like her whole wardrobe, she's gonna be like working at JP Morgan somewhere.
The hilarious thing is when Sean, I do think that Sean has more to risk than Tasha because, like he said, if Ghost finds out, I'm dead.
Yes.
Yep. Which I've already predicted.
He's a dead guy. But the funny thing she said is like, Sean, you gonna take care of me, my 3 kids, and my mama.
That's real talk, though.
That's
No, that's too much.
Unrealistic.
That's young, dumb, and
he's
PW.
Just,
yeah, thank you.
He's PW.
He sure is.
He was like, I'll help. Don't worry, I'll be here for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you for schooling me. That's good.
Yeah,
Taking notes.
Okay, so obviously Sean is delusional, but do you think it was a smart move for Tasha to somewhat join? She's forced to join forces with Ghost because he has to trust this plan that Ghost have. What do you guys think about that?
Well, let me just go back to Tasha and Sean really quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Just briefly. That Sean is so unfortunate. He's really, truly, I feel, acting off of emotion, real life love. Like, I feel this thing for you. Whereas Tasha is coming from a place, she's vulnerable and she's emotional. It's not real. So this is why this isn't going to work, because it's not even reality. Like, yeah, their end point is a reality. Y'all get it cracking in the back of that truck or the shower now or whatever. That's a reality. But I'm saying to even get you there is not really real. So that part is unfortunate to me.
She's
Sean
hungry
is
to
gonna
be seen that way. Like the way he
Yes.
looks at her feels so intoxicating, I'm sure, because
Yes.
she's not getting that from her husband. But I think you're right that
Yeah.
it's like, even though we want true love to trump at the end of the day, I think it is for Sean. And
Yeah.
it's, it's a little bit more calculating.
I like
for her.
intoxicating. I like that word. That was good.
You know what is really interesting, Robin? Sean is playing on his emotions with Tasha, and Tasha is, I mean, she's like Whitney Houston, so emotional when it comes to Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I just,
I mean, it's tough subject
yeah,
right now.
I just,
Pineapples. Okay.
yeah, but she's like, she's so in her feelings that
Tasha.
I mean, but
I feel bad for her.
yeah, it's tough. The
Yeah.
dude who you thought you were with told you, "Hey, I'm with another woman," and she happens to be trying to put us
Lock
all
me
in jail.
up in us. Yeah.
Mind you, he has to now stay with her. He can't leave. Tasha can't leave. It's just a bad situation.
And the whole prenup
thing.
thing too.
Yeah.
I felt when Ghost said that I needed you, when Tasha said something like I would never testify against you, and he said something like, well, I needed to like make sure.
See,
He lost me just a little bit, because it's like,
They were young though. They were 20. I mean, at the time, he's thinking street. Girls they're not necessarily going to be around forever. Most of the time, this is what these guys are thinking. So, I mean, they were.
well, the fact that she signed it with obviously she signed it, I mean, to me says something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, like the attorney said, she was young. She didn't know what she was doing,
Yeah.
whatever her signing that. But I think the interesting part is that once again, we're finding out reasons that Ghost married her.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, I'm not coming with this stuff out of my head. Like, I'm not emotional about this. I'm looking at it for what it is, from what the characters are saying.
Yeah.
She said, I was loyal to him. He locked me down because I was loyal to him. He's saying, I had to lock you down. You knew too much. You knew my business. So, like, this whole Tasha Ghost being, and we don't have to go all into that, but you know how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, him being in love with her, and there, I feel it for people who want to ride for her. Like, I get it, but I'm just saying that's another reason he's saying that he married her.
At the end of the day, though, I definitely think that Ghost is not gonna leave her with nothing. Of
course,
if they get a divorce, which I think Ghost wants to kind of leave that situation. He said he's gonna take care of her. It's just that for Tasha, I don't know, like her mind, she needs to be in control of the situation. So I think that's where she is right now. She's trying to get control of the situation. So.
And she did a good job. What did you guys think about her having to stop Tommy from killing Angela?
Tasha's stepping up. She's stepping up in so many ways in my book. Like, I love the way that she's doing what everybody loves her for, because she's showing that street knowledge that she's always, she's had the reputation of, but now she's really showing us as the viewer. So it's really cool to watch her, step in and do that. And like the whole getting him right before he shoots, or when he's like, I'm like, okay, Tasha, okay, writing, all right, Power, I see you.
It was so intense. I love it.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope.
I loved it, but Tommy was not going to. No, he would have killed her.
Tommy was about to go in.
Yeah, he was gonna kill her. And the thing about Tasha, she said, if somebody's gonna kill her, it's going to be me. So this, like, she wants everybody to know, hey, yeah, we know what's going on, but I hate her. Like, she is on a rampage. She was at lunch with Ghost or breakfast with Ghost the whole time. Like, yeah, but you was hitting it right. Like, she just wouldn't let it go.
Wait, and did you see how she wowed out about the bacon?
Right, he was talking like, yeah, and I think this is strategic. She was like, this bacon It's like, yo, seriously, she won't let it go. So they're going to hear about Angie forever.
Did you guys feel like, it could be just me, but is it interesting that it seems like the grass is greener on the other side now? Like Ghost, originally he wanted to kind of get away from the whole Tasha situation and find love with Angela, and now that this is getting so heavy, he kind of wants to go back home and he wants to be around. I just think that that's a little ironic too.
I mean,
you don't agree?
No. I mean, you got the deluxe apartment in the sky like Jefferson's, or you got a hotel. I mean, it's a 5-star hotel, but shit, I mean,
no home cooked meals. Right, I get it.
Tasha Burns, like, by any means necessary as a man, I'm trying to get into the house that I actually paid for.
Right, that's true. And around your kids and stuff.
Can we touch on the fact that Tasha had Sean all in the bathroom of this? Look, that really disturbed me.
It disturbed me too.
Yeah.
I was like, where are the kids? Like the whole time I thought the kids
she locked the door.
like knocking on the door.
Are you really about doing this thing? Well, first of all, like, they're doing this thing, but are you doing this thing in Ghost's place? Like, come on.
At this point, though, I mean, go Tasha, go. Because he done disrespected her far too much. I mean, I get it. And I want to sound ratchet. Does it sound crazy,
No,
ratchet?
right.
I'm just saying, Tasha, like, go get yours. I mean,
this is car though. Go back in the car.
Nah, man.
No.
I thought the kids were gonna walk in. I swear the kids.
She locked the door though. They made sure.
Like,
Yeah, she locked the door. I'm with you, Robin. Listen, if I'm cheating, and obviously my wife can't leave me, then she has the right to cheat on me.
Fair enough.
She kicked me out the house. Well, that will never happen. But she kicked me out of the house. I don't live there technically, so she has the right to do what she wants to do. And that's me as a man speaking.
And she's sort of locked in this situation. Yeah. She's just like, listen, I've given him now permission to go and do his thing or whatever. I'm going to get mine. So I'm not mad at her for that.
Yeah. What do you think, Lucy?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm just so tickled to hear all of this. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think as a viewer, like, we've been wanting that. Like, that was a hot scene.
Yes.
With good music. And it was like, she was starved for it, as were we. Like, it's about time. The start of the episode, Ghost is, with Tasha, but just like dreaming of Angie. I feel like, no, she's allowed to go get it. I mean, yeah, I hear you. It is a little bit like complicated in their space. Yeah. But no. Yeah. No, go get it.
That's right. Go get it. Go get it. That's right.
Okay. What do you think about, does anyone have an idea for what they think Ghost's plan is? Because, Ghost is telling Tasha, we have to keep Angela alive in order for my plan to work. Tommy, you can't kill her because I need her to be alive in order for my plan to work. So as we go into this plan, how Ghost was starting to plant seeds, I have to be honest, I'm not sure what his plan is. I'm just kind of going for the ride. Does anybody have an idea?
On this ride with you.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Just wink one time.
Okay, so I thought maybe only I was clueless.
No.
Okay, because I
think it's gonna lend itself to terrific writing though. Like I think that's gonna be their way of just boom again, because the writers have a great eye for that and a great writing art for that. Just like twisting and turning and stuff. So I think we're meant to be exactly where we are, just like not knowing.
Okay.
Which is good.
So smart move, dumb move for Ghost to go to Dre in the hood and have this conversation with him about Kanan and kind to maneuver his loyalty to Dre. I thought it was a dumb move. What do you guys think? I did.
I appreciated it because he doesn't know Dre. The only introduction he has to Dre is Kanan. Mm-hmm. So he don't know what Kanan has been telling him. And the way Kanan acts, you can only expect the worst. So Ghost knows how Ghost looks, and he knows that he can sell that whole, I used to be a street dude just like you, mm-hmm. Now look at me. Mm-hmm. So he was coming at Dre, and he didn't really overstep, but he was kind of trying to show him and see where Dre's head is at. Then it was basically like, listen, I know you seem like a very, smart mm-hmm. young man. Mm-hmm. look at me.
Right.
So I think it was smart on Ghost's part, especially for the simple fact that Drake kind of dropped the tid on Sean. He was like, so your boy over here. So Ghost, it was a win for Ghost either way.
I
It
think
was.
so too.
I agree.
Even the fact that Dre then calls Kanan and says Lobos is coming.
But
So
remember,
that's the only part that I don't want to say frightens me, but just makes me have a moment where I feel like I'm gonna, an episode or two later, I'm gonna be like, see, you shouldn't have. So that's
maybe.
yeah.
But I kind of feel like Sean came in and was like, okay, well, let him know that Lobos is coming. So I guess he's passing on this message because it's obviously a big deal. And the fact that they weren't at the table when they had that meeting because of Kanan, I mean, I'm curious to know what's gonna happen. It's obviously gonna ruffle some feathers, but I mean, Dre obviously he still has that loyalty to Kanan, but I do see him building that relationship with Ghost eventually because at the end of the day, that's that dream. You're looking at what it is you wanna be, and Kanan, all that bad stuff that Kanan's doing, it's gonna come back to bite him in the butt. So
On a side note, I don't know, like if I'm in the hood and then I see a guy pull up in an SUV, you have a driver, you're in a suit. I mean, if I'm a street dude, that's not normal. I mean, if you're not Puffy or you're not Jay-Z coming to like give back or do something, that just seems unnormal for him to just pull out in the hood.
You think so?
Oh, but you can get an Uber Black now and put an H&M suit on and drive right up to 149.
So true.
You can get an Uber Black.
You know what? Strike that. I totally
Get an Uber.
Thank you.
But you felt like he was like flaunting his wealth or something, like in an
It just didn't seem realistic that this man, because
I see what you mean.
I would think that all the hood people, when somebody pulls into the neighborhood, everybody looking, who is this? Who, like, it just it's too much. I just felt like it's he's allowing himself to be in an area where he shouldn't be.
I don't know that I agree with that because if you're Ghost, you feel like you've conquered these streets. You feel like you know exactly who I am. There's no reason for anybody to fret. You know who I am. That's how I feel. And then this is who Ghost is. He doesn't change that. That's what I like about him too. He's never really in like street clothes. He's always dressed up.
So that's like sort of the central tension of the show is sort of like, are we going to stick with this world that we already know and be the best at this, or are we going to try to use this to get out? And I think it's sort of interesting to see
the two dynamics.
This is sort of a central theme, and I feel like he by sussing out where Dre feels about this, it's like, I don't know, brings up that what is it, what is the end game here? What are we?
That's good. I mean, because you know what? They had that moment when they were on the street and he was like, you have ambition. It totally signified where I once was, where you can be. You know, that's what it signified for me. So I thought that was like appropriate. I did want to say this, and I know Dre talks a lot about being loyal and everything like that, but Dre is doing a good job of just making moves by himself and not necessarily being all up under Kanan. And I dig that because that tells me something else, like maybe for the future. And then keep in mind, he saw that dirty thing that Kanan did. He popped his boy, remember, in the trunk. He knows what's up. Dre knows what's up. So I'm looking at him like, okay, he's on the rise. That's kind of what I think.
And on top of that, he's had private conversations with Ruiz as well.
And
why is he so darn persistent in trying to get a table a seat at the table? A seat at the drug table.
Because something's up.
I can't figure it out.
Something's up.
He's trying to take over some territory, maybe.
Oh, wait, what scene was that? Guys, remind me, where Ghost walked away from Ruiz and he gave him that disgusting look.
It was that same thing when he mentioned having a seat at the table again.
Yes.
And he took the cigar, that one?
Yes. I was like, oh, he doesn't like, something is up. Like, you can tell it's unfold. We already had a clue. Like, okay, Ruiz, something is up, and maybe he felt some sort of way about Ghost, but that look right there, that just told me so much about something is going to happen.
Yeah.
Not to mention he's ruffling feathers and going to Dre and telling Dre like, hey, you and Kanan weren't at the table, Ghost called a meeting and didn't call you, so he could just be trying to start some drama, start some war, and maybe try to slip on in and take over some territory.
Well, he again certainly seems to be picking up on the fact that they're not as unified, though. So you definitely see the ambition among these other, lords.
Yeah.
And who's gonna if this if there is a schism, how can we use that to our advantage?
Yeah.
You know, start to
Definitely.
feel like there's no rest. Poor Ghost, you know?
I know.
Where's Kanan?
Well, he took a bus back down, so he was like, yo, get on the bus and come back down. The bus. Nothing against the bus, 'cause I take the bus, but you would think Kanan would be, I don't know, I didn't know where he was when he said the bus. I was like, oh, where is he? The bus. Shout out! I ride the bus. Shout
out!
Right, shout out to the bus. That's what I'm saying.
What do you guys think about now that Ghost does not trust Sean because he's acting like a giddy schoolboy? Okay, gotta go. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a millennial. Wasn't that amazing that he was able to just delete those?
Yeah.
Like without even looking, I was like,
now
that was a G move.
I'm too old for that.
I would have been dead.
that's a young move because there's things that they can do to the phone.
I know.
Yes.
That was
Damn.
yeah.
I would have been dead.
Yeah.
My thing is, why not just tell Ghost, oh, that was Tasha. She just needed me to do something, bring something by for the kids, something.
I mean, he could have been like, you play the game. You're like, oh, right. Okay, so I'll bring some groceries to the house. Like, play it off a little bit, keep the conversation going. That way that other person knows something is going on.
I think Sean is in his feelings. I think he's starting to look differently at Ghost. Notice when they came back from having the conversation with Ghost and Dre, when he got back in the car, did you see the way he looked at him through the side of the mirror? He doesn't even look at him the same.
Yeah.
He has totally grew a pair of balls now. Like, I feel like Sean thinks he can really take on Ghost at any minute. Whenever Tasha give him the signal, he's ready to go. Is that too much?
No, but I agree with
Yeah.
that too. It's funny because I actually said that out loud when I was watching it. When he walked into where the restaurant or whatever, when he walked in to say, "Where's my dad?" I was like, "Look at the way he walking in." There's something about his little swag even walking. I'm like, he got his chest all puffed out.
PW.
He thinks he does, but he's
feeling himself.
Right.
deep. Yeah. You're like,
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feeling some kind of way, Sean?
yeah.
Okay, next. I'm so happy Cantos got set up. Yay!
Me too.
That's all I have to say about
Me
Cantos.
too.
Anyone else? I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that. I like the way that this whole thing is unfolding, but it doesn't shock me. Like, that situation was never going to win to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Cantos deserved that because if I all of a sudden became the boss for my former boss, and I knew that it was my job to rig the books, that thing would be in my back pocket at all times, just as if I had a purse. Right here.
Yeah,
I would never leave that thing, especially when that was the second time that you've caught him at your desk.
Without you
Yes.
Peeking.
Yeah. But see, he's not about that life. Like, remember when Ghost had truth and he was over truth, like, he would have pulled a move like that. But Cantos is not really about that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he's just like,
And he wouldn't think about it. Ghost probably wouldn't know that he was cooking the books if Ghost didn't put the money into the club himself. Like, he gave everybody money and knew what kind of money they were spending. So if he would have never gave out stacks of hundreds and did all of this, Ghost probably wouldn't know that the books were off anyway. He probably just would have thought they had a bad night.
But because Ghost is so smart, I think he specifically did that to put the money in to ensure that he gets his 20%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this plan that Ghost and Mrs. Stern is? I'm a little worried about it.
You think so?
I don't think it's gonna fall through.
I hope it does.
I hope it does too.
I hope it does too, but for some reason, I'm unsure if it's going to work out.
I'm concerned about
What do you
Miami
think?
guy. Yeah.
The Miami too.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I should be watching more critically, I put way too much faith in Ghost. I'm like, Ghost will figure it out. He's everywhere. He's like solving everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved her delivery of that. She was so stone cold and just like, that's the name of our daughter who died. It was so good.
Yeah. That was creepy. So on that note about truth, so last week I mentioned McCasner had a great. Remember I said I was gonna revisit this. Mm-hmm. He said that the club being called Truth is purposefully picked because of the whole show. That's why it plays such a huge role, which is why that it'll play a bigger role later. He also said that many truths have been revealed in the club, like Ghost and Angela getting it in the club. Mm-hmm. Also, Tasha seeing Ghost interact with Angela, Holly getting shot in the club as well. So Truth is like a central part of the show, which is why it means so much. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I thought that was so brilliant. Like no one really looked into it like that. That was
That's
deep.
awesome. Yeah.
So way to go, McCasner. Thank you.
Why was Mrs. Stern, and just side note, when she strolled into her lobby, I love the way she strolled in with her nice bag, with her Louis Vuitton bag, her black jacket. Like I felt good because the last time we saw her, she was such in a very bad disposition where she didn't really feel good about herself. Now that he done dropped dead out of her life, she had kind of a strut in her walk that I really appreciate, because you can tell that she's on the verge of moving forward, and she seems like she's in a more happier place.
Yeah, well, and then at the same time, I think she's in her zone. This is her territory. She's at home. She's, like when she was there with Stern, she was feeling a certain kind of way because this isn't really what she does, and she's in someone else's sort of neck of the woods. You get what I'm saying? But at home, like, you can be who you are. Like, that's who she really is. So I agree, though. I really like that scene as well.
Yeah.
Well, in that scene, in the club, it seemed, or in that sex party, it seemed like he was doing that
on purpose.
Yeah, he seemed like he was punishing her with that. I mean, all of that seemed so pointedly at her.
Yeah,
it was, and so I felt like this scene. Yeah, she had just like moved. She had divorced herself emotionally. I mean, from that, she was.
Yeah. We made note to that as well, like how he was just so. I was like, "What is that all about?" Like this disdain for her. Yeah.
And then one other thing about that, I don't understand why Ghost and Mrs. Stern was in Club Truth when you got little Nosy Rosie. You don't know where Cantos is. He's such a snake. I don't understand why they had to have that little meeting at Club Truth.
In addition to the fact that Stern pops up occasionally when he wants, because he owns it now or whatever. So I agree. But I think there's certain parts of this show, and I don't know if it's meant to be that way or not, but there's certain parts that's just messy. Yeah. And I'm like, get it together. Like, who would do that in real life?
And for that reason is why I think she may be forced to change her plans or something, because maybe with cameras or something, maybe Stern to find out, or that little Cantos guy may like snitch or something. I feel like they were there for a reason, and it's gonna probably come out. Let's talk about Holly. All right, so why do you guys think Holly flipped the script? Do you think she flipped the script because she don't care about Tommy anymore, or do you think she was doing it for Ghost? Meaning flipping the script when she changed the story to when Angela.
I think that she realized that at the end of the day, Tommy's he's for Ghost. He's about Ghost, and he proved that the night that she kind of told him to choose. And I also feel like she got a little scared too. Look how Tommy went on with her. You started cursing all these bad words, calling her all kind of crazy stuff. I would have, just cooperated with Ghost, because at this point, that's her only escape route out. So that's what I think Holly's doing, just protecting herself at this point.
And you saw at the end of the episode when Angie found her at the hotel, she was about to give more about Tommy, and you can see that she was like going through it, like, you know what, I'm over Tommy. Yeah, this is it. And then when Angie started asking her more, she was like, no, never mind. So she still has that love for Tommy, even though she's pissed off about him. So I mean, I thought she did it. She told Ghost what she told him just to get everything off of her back. Like, just here, I'll do it for you, whatever. But it gives her more time to think about what her next move is going to be.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. And do none of you find that this is interesting, talking about this in front of Holly herself?
I love it.
We're all like, yeah, so Holly. And Lucy's just sitting there like, No, but I do agree. I think that was kind of stated perfectly. I think that she really did just want to kind of get this off of her back. Like, okay, I'm in this situation. Tommy just went to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? It's like she can't save him or save them anymore. So I feel like she's just in this situation where she's like, I have to, kind of go along with the plan of what Ghost wants. Because aren't we to assume that Ghost is the one who reached out to her knowing that Angela would find her?
I think so.
Well, you're shaking your head, but I'm a little unsure.
No, I want to hear that stuff.
I'm a little unsure because when Angie was at the door, first of all, I love when you said, I have a gun and I have herpes. That
was the winning line of the night. Yeah, that was so funny.
She's like, I know you don't have a gun. Yeah. We can't speak about herpes.
Hilarious. But the fact that when your character put the phone in your back pocket, I'm unsure because your character is so trifling. I don't know. Like, 1 minute I like you, 1 minute I hate you. Right now I really like you. I really like Holly, but I'm unsure. I don't trust this. I don't trust you for anything. Like, I literally I would hide everything when you walk in the house.
Well,
I don't trust Holly's character, so I have no idea who called. Can you?
Well, I mean, I know as much as you know. I just know it's in the scripts, but I think that it was pre-planned with Ghost. I mean, obviously, like, he was the Western Union, like, that all seemed to be in place, and I think at the end of the day, she put herself out there. She made herself super vulnerable to Tommy, and he chose the other team. So she's looking out for herself, and I think money is what speaks to Holly. Like, money is independence, money is, and so I think it was just, well, money talks. I mean, she was in a really tight way at the end of that episode. Just like pressure between, is Tommy gonna find out? Angela needs me. Ghost wants me. All these different directions, and she went on a leap and put herself out there and was left super high and dry. So I think now she's just looking out for herself, and it's just about money. I'm not gonna get caught up in anything. But you were totally right to pick up on the fact that she's also not gonna sell him out because she can't help but love him.
Yeah.
Another question that I have is, does Holly know who Lobos is? Because the way Holly freaked out and was like, I'm not telling you nothing else. But you don't, as far as I don't remember. Holly doesn't know anything about Lobos. So was that just her tough street sense to basically end the conversation because she didn't know how else or what else to say?
Yeah, I mean, you see her, she's picking up on everything. I mean, she's just constantly trying to figure things out. So I feel like she's definitely putting things together and has learned a little bit as she goes. So yeah, I don't think she knows much about Lobos or anything, but I also think that it is a decision to sort of shut down. Like, she got involved. It did not end well. She is not.
Yeah. Because a part of that too, because like you remember how Angie, Holly opens the door and Angie says, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out my words.
You can conflate. They're the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Holly opens the door and Angie says, you effed me. And she was like, you effed me first, remember? So it was kind of that thing of like, you did F me. So I have to like end this. I have to like kind of put my foot down, and I'm not going to give you everything, because at the end of the day, like, this is sort of like a battle too.
We're all out for ourselves.
Yeah.
You're not,
Yeah, because even Angie, like, she's working, but this is a win for her. Because she's battled so hard just to kind of figure all of this out. So this is a win for Angie. Totally, like, everybody's in it for self right now. So, yeah.
Wow.
I have a question. I mentioned, I think 2 episodes ago, about your background. It is not a coincidence that your that crime or something that you did that you are supposed to be in jail for, but you left, that the charges were void or that it was dropped. So I have this theory in my head that you probably come from money. I'm sorry, Holly comes from money.
Yeah.
Holly comes from money, and somebody rich probably got you off, and that you steal for the sake of stealing because you're this. Holly is this entitled girl who does it for the sake of the thrill. Do you know? Is there anything you can tell us about Holly's background?
There really isn't, and actually, I mean, I have come up with my whole story, but that does not always. It's not always the same as Courtney's story, our showrunner's story. So I feel like probably shouldn't speak to that, but I find this super fascinating to wrestle with. But yeah, no, I think there's definitely that thrill seeker in her, and this sense of just. Yeah, she does sort of have it out for entitled girls. You know, she doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like there's also something to her that's like, you know, in that bathroom scene with Angela, I feel like it's sort of like whore meets whore, you know? She was like, I know your kind. And like, you cannot be holier than thou to me because like, I've seen you. You can't posture. She hates posturing, you know? And I feel like she has a very different rubric than anybody else does, you know, in terms of like right and wrong, but it is very clear for her. And I feel like in her mind, she's like, at least I'm not, you know, at least I'm honest about it. You know, you're here trying to front like you're this law-abiding citizen, but I've seen you. You know, you're just a dirty girl just like me.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. I love it. I'm very curious. Is this a character who's like, is it really difficult for you to play Holly or?
It's super fun to play Holly. Holly is not who I generally get cast as, you know?
Okay.
And, I will say that it's super exciting to not be the good girl. You know, there's something really freeing. And there's something really freeing also about having a character that is this divisive, you know, that's this like polarizing. I mean, people really hate her in a visceral way, which I find really exciting.
Yeah.
You know, and she's not, sorry, these keep slipping off. She's not, she keeps twisting, you know, you don't know where to put her. You know, she's just kind of, yeah, I think I tried to play her sort of opaque that first season a little bit, so you don't know what to make of her. We don't quite trust her, but we don't really know why. And yeah, I don't know.
Now, quickly, you were on The Good Wife, which Courtney was the executive producer on. So, did that have anything to do with you getting the audition for Power?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it put her on. I was just, you know, a guest on that. It wasn't a series regular or anything. But I think that probably put me on her radar, and I think probably she had seen me in a film called Shame, which she's a big Steve McQueen fan. So I think that had probably also put me on her radar. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
what was the audition process like? Did you have to go through a lot of different callbacks?
Yeah. Yes, but I was sort of lucky because I didn't have as scary an audition. I think other people had to most of the series regulars had to test, but mine didn't become a regular until much later in the process. So so I was just sort of me and the casting director and Joe Shakora, who plays Tommy, and we just had great chemistry.
Yes, the chemistry is amazing.
And he's a fantastic human being. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I win by having him as my scene partner. I mean, he's obviously a brilliant actor, but he's also just like a brilliant human being.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter, ADZ_247, want me to ask, he says, can you ask her what's her most uncomfortable scene and the most fun and why? So if you can answer one of those questions.
Yeah, well, I had never been naked on TV before this.
Ooh.
So this was, that was really scary, actually. And I think, especially for a character who is not you, you know, you rely, or at least I'm going to speak for myself, I rely a lot on these like externals. Like I can find Holly through her like, you know, saucy outfits or her whatever, you know, the things that just like you wear the outfit, you find the walk, and then you're like, okay, I'm Holly now. But when you're naked. You are just naked. There's like none of that to there's nothing to hide behind. There's no posturing. And I think I did have a little bit of baggage, like, well, maybe she's supposed to be like edgier and like tattooed and these kinds of things, But I think actually getting past that was the most freeing, because I realized, like, no, I'm Holly. It's not this idea of who this is me. And getting through that and sort of coming out alive on the other side, I felt so much stronger and so much tougher, because that's the scariest thing you can ever do.
Yeah.
And not just being naked, but naked and having,
going
all the way there, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, when I got cast on this show, I remember, you have this crazy nudity contract, and my dad just happened to be in town for work, and I went out to eat with my dad and my boyfriend, and I was like, okay, if I can have this conversation about like just how nude, and those things are like so technical. I mean, it's like, it'll be this much breast and this much. I mean, they're just like so insane. And you're like, it's like, well, if I can confront this with these two men in my life, then I guess I can do this.
Wow. And they were okay with it?
Yeah, I feel so lucky that I feel
That's
like I
awesome.
have, I mean, as supportive as people can be.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so then let us go into Kennelia's cold piece, and then we'll go into some predictions, and we'll wrap things up.
Cold piece of the week for this episode of Power goes to Tommy. I'll make this quick. Not because he was on coke the whole time, but low key because he was on coke the whole time and he got everything done. He broke out of the bed jail. He moved all of that money. He made a plan to have the decoy money and have the real money chartered by whoever those people were.
The Koreans?
The Korean. We don't want to stereotype. Maybe we don't know. But Tommy gets the cold piece for that reason alone, and because I really think that he wants Holly back, so I'm just going to, just say that he gets the cold piece for being an emotional guy.
Yeah.
And
I love
cold
you
piece
for
Lucy for joining us in the studio
Thank you
today.
guys so much for having me. I want to be here every week. This is so fun.
You're more than welcome to come every week.
We also have something for you.
Uh-oh.
We would like to present you with
Dun, dun, dun.
the Hollywood Best Drama Queen Award.
Yes! Thank you. Can I take these off?
So much love in the studio. You work that drama queen.
well
You definitely do, Lucy.
Well deserved.
Gonna take a prominent
There
place
you go.
Awesome.
But we really thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have been literally like the breakout star of season 2, and you get ready, because you're gonna get some award nominations, because your performance is just
Impeccable.
It's
Yeah.
Yes.
That means so much.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But I feel like I just did. And it matches my outfit.
Yes. Hey, girl.
So it's a win.
Okay, so let's go into predictions really quickly now.
AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
I'll go first. Well, I definitely think Holly is coming back. She's not going anywhere. That's what I think. She obviously has some things that I think she's gonna come back and be there for Tommy, and they're gonna work it out. I have one more prediction. I think that nobody's paying attention to Greg, and Greg is on the hunt. I think he is following Angie everywhere, and I do think that he's gonna stir up some trouble, especially for Angie and for Ghost. So.
Nice. Well, to piggyback off of that, could it be that Ghost and Holly do something together? I don't know. Okay, I'm done.
Oh.
I like that.
I predict that Sean is gonna die. I'm on the Sean is gonna die bandwagon. He's PW now. He can't focus, and he's kikiing it up on the phone with Tasha. So I think he has to go.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on blast just a little bit. Kennelia and I, we've talked offline, and you've mentioned that you think Ghost is going to prison.
Yes, I do think Ghost is going to jail.
I do agree with that, and not only because he had the prison beard,
He had the prison beard during promo.
Things are going too well now for Ghost, and it cannot end so smoothly. So I think Ghost has to go to prison. Kanan's gonna come back, and after Sean, then now he's PW and he got his chest out. He's the dead one. Sean has to die.
That's why it's so good every episode.
Sean has to die, but
He's so beautiful, though.
I know. It's like, can he just stay? Can't we just look at him and stay there?
Lucy, will you let everyone know where you could be found on social media before we can wrap?
Thank you. I am at Lucy T. Walters on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah. Yeah.
And you also have a film coming out called Here Alone and Auld Lang Syne.
Auld Lang Syne.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
you're so
when do those come out?
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look out for
Thank you.
Lucy and the films, and then also we will look out for you in season 3 of Power because you are not dying.
You cannot.
Nope.
You must not.
die.
I was
Courtney,
just saying,
you
I
hear
would
that?
love to stick around. I would love a job.
Okay, good.
And
Fingers
let
crossed.
everyone know where you guys can be found on social media.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Janeisha_Miss VI.
And I am on all social media at Robin Ayers or my website, it's robinayers.com.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Kennelia.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. Oh man, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Lucy.
Our special guest
I-
Lucy Walters in the AFTERBUZZ building. She plays Holly on Power on Starz. Thank you so much.
thank
you.
You
You're
are
awesome.
welcome anytime. Please come back. Thank you so
Crash.
much. Thank you guys for watching AFTERBUZZ TV for Power, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for watching.
Woo.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.